संयुक्त राष्ट्रसङ्घमा हुने समिट फर फ्युचर कार्यक्रममा नेपालको साझा धारणा प्रस्तुत गर्ने गरी तपाईहरू निष्कर्षमा पुग्नुहुनेछ भन्ने शुभकामना व्यक्त गर्न चाहन्छु। दिगो विकासको लक्ष्य हासिल गर्ने अभियानमा कोही नछुटुन् भन्ने मुख्य नाराका साथ संयुक्त राष्ट्रसङ्घले विकासका लागि वित्त परिचालन गर्न जोड दिँदै आएको तथा विकासोन्मुख र अल्पविकसित मुलुकमा लगानीका लागि स्रोतको कमी नै मुख्य चुनौतीको रूपमा देखा परेको अवस्थामा यो सान्दर्भिक विषयमा संवाद आयोजना गर्नुभएकोमा म आयोजकहरूलाई सरकारको तर्फबाट धन्यवाद भन्न चाहन्छु। विकासोन्मुख र अल्पविकसित मुलुकहरूको आन्तरिक राजस्व परिचालन गर्ने क्षमता कमजोर हुँदै गएको र सार्वजनिक ऋणको भार बढ्दै गएको कारणले विकासका लागि स्रोतको जोहो गर्नु चुनौतीपूर्ण बन्दै गएको छ। राजस्वको अधिकांश हिस्सा सार्वजनिक ऋण भुक्तानीमा लगाउनु पर्ने बाध्यताले सामाजिक सुरक्षा तथा विकासका गतिविधिमा सरकारको लगानी सङ्कुचित हुने देखिएको छ। यसले दिगो विकासको लक्ष्य पूरा गर्ने सङ्कल्पलाई टाढा धकेल्ने जोखिम बढेको छ। अर्कोतर्फ जलवायु परिवर्तनको प्रभावबाट यी मुलुकहरू बढी प्रभावित बनेका छन्। उच्च व्यापार घाटा, सुस्त आर्थिक वृद्धि, विकास सहायताको घट्दो प्रवृत्तिले विकासोन्मुख र अल्पविकसित देशहरू थप समस्यामा रहेका छन्। यस सन्दर्भमा समृद्धिको यात्रालाई निरन्तरता दिन विकास वित्तका नवीन तथा वैकल्पिक उपायहरूको उपयोग गर्नुपर्ने देखिएको छ। आन्तरिक स्रोतको अलावा निजी पुँजी तथा विकास सहायता लगायत सम्भाव्य सबै स्रोतको अधिकतम उपयोग गर्ने गरी विकास वित्तको खाका तय गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था सृजना भएको छ। मैले व्यक्त गरेका यी विषयहरू नेपालको सन्दर्भ पनि चुनौतीपूर्ण रूपमा रहेका छन्। कुल ग्राहस्थ्य उत्पादनका तुलनामा राजस्वको अनुपात तुलनात्मक रूपमा राम्रो देखिए पनि यसलाई दिगो बनाउनु पर्ने चुनौती छ। प्रत्यक्ष वैदेशिक लगानी र बाह्य क्षेत्रबाट हुने पुँजी प्रवाह तुलनात्मक रूपमा न्यून छ। सार्वजनिक ऋण सुरक्षित तहमा नै भए पनि आगामी दिनमा यसमा चुनौती थपिने देखिन्छ। उच्च व्यापार घाटा, न्यून आर्थिक वृद्धि दर र लामो समयदेखि संरचनात्मक समस्याका रूपमा अर्थतन्त्रमा विद्यमान छ। नेपाल जलवायु परिवर्तनको प्रभावबाट प्रत्यक्ष रूपमा प्रभावित भएको छ। हामीले कार्बन उत्सर्जनमा नगण्य योगदान रहे पनि हामीलाई गैर अनुपातिक असर परेको हुँदा अनुकूलनमा निकै ठुलो रकम छुट्याउनु पर्नेछ। यसैले नेपाल विकास वित्तका लागि नयाँ स्रोत र उपकरण छुटाउनु पर्ने पक्षमा उभिएको छ। विकास साझेदारहरूसँग यी विषयमा पर्याप्त अन्तर्क्रिया गरी अगाडि बढ्न सरकार दृढ छ। हाम्रो विकास प्रयासमा विकास साझेदारहरूको महत्त्वपूर्ण योगदान छ। म विकास साझेदारहरूलाई पनि स्रोतको कमी हुन नदिई हाम्रो साझा लक्ष्य हासिल गर्न अझ बढी हातेमालो गर्न आग्रह गर्न चाहन्छु। नेपाल सरकारले अर्थतन्त्रको विकासका लागि निजी क्षेत्रलाई नेतृत्वदायी भूमिकामा राखेको छ। 16औं आवधिक योजनाले निजी क्षेत्रको भूमिकालाई उच्च महत्त्व दिएको छ। निजी क्षेत्र सरकारको साझेदार हो। हाम्रा लक्ष्य अलग छैनन्। सरकार निजी क्षेत्रको लगानी अभिवृद्धि गर्न आवश्यक वातावरण बनाउन सधैँ तयार छ। त्यसैले निजी पुँजी आकर्षित गर्ने गरी विकास वित्तको खाका निर्माण तथा उच्च प्रतिफलयुक्त आयोजनाको पाइपलाइन निर्माण गरी लगानी जुटाउन आवश्यक छ। हामी रोजगारी सहितको विकासको पक्षमा छौँ। युवा श्रम शक्तिलाई बजारको माग अनुकूल स्वदेशमा नै स्वरोजगार बनाउन र रोजगारीको अवसर सृजना गर्न सरकार प्रयत्नरत छ। सरकारी र निजी लगानी बढाउन सकेमा स्वदेशमा नै कामका अवसरहरू बढाउन सकिन्छ। नेपालको विकास प्रयासमा स्वदेशी पुँजी र प्रविधि मात्र पर्याप्त छैन। सरकार विदेशी पुँजी र प्रविधि भित्राउन सबै नीतिगत र कानुनी पूर्वाधार निर्माण गर्न कटिबद्ध छ। कानुनी सुधार र नीतिगत स्पष्टताका लागि थप कामहरू गर्दै लगिनेछ। सन् 2026 सम्ममा अति कम विकसित मुलुकबाट स्तरोन्नति हुने भएकोले हामीले गैर एलडीसी श्रेणीमा स्तरोन्नतिका लागि सङ्क्रमणकालीन रणनीति विकास गरिरहेका छौँ। विकासोन्मुख मुलुकमा स्तरोन्नतिले ल्याएका अवसरहरूको उपयोग गर्न र थप लगानी आकर्षित गर्न हामी चाँडै नै यो सार्वभौम क्रेडिट रेटिङ सम्पन्न गर्दैछौँ। आन्तरिक स्रोत परिचालनमा क्षमता अभिवृद्धिका साथै स्रोत बाँडफाँड र खर्च क्षमता अभिवृद्धिको महत्त्वलाई म स्वीकार गर्दछु। यसका लागि नेपाल सरकारले हाम्रो सार्वजनिक वित्त व्यवस्थापन प्रणालीमा सुधार ल्याउन नीतिगत सुधार गर्दै आएको छ। मौजूदा करहरूलाई थप प्रगतिशील बनाउन, करका आधारहरू सुदृढ र विस्तार गर्न, राजस्व प्रणालीलाई विद्युतीकरण गरी विनियोजन र खर्च क्षमता बढाउन हाम्रो प्रयास रहनेछ। 28औं कोप सम्मेलनका क्रममा कम विकसित मुलुकहरूलाई प्रविधि हस्तान्तरण मार्फत सक्षम र आत्मनिर्भर बनाउनु पर्ने विषय उठेको थियो। नेपाल जस्ता देशहरूले विकासोन्मुख मुलुकमा स्तरोन्नति पश्चात समेत प्रविधि हस्तान्तरणमा सहयोगको निरन्तरता गर्न सामूहिक रूपमा अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय फोरमहरूमा आवाज उठाउन म अनुरोध गर्छु। विशेष गरी उत्पादन क्षमता सुदृढीकरण, निर्यात प्रतिस्पर्धात्मकता, व्यापार वित्तमा पहुँच, सिप हस्तान्तरण र कनेक्टिभिटी, बजार पहुँच, व्यापार सहजीकरण र प्रविधि हस्तान्तरणमा केन्द्रित रहेर नवीन वित्तीय उपकरणहरूको विकास र उपयोगका लागि निरन्तर साझेदारी, सहयोग र अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय सहयोगको लागि हामीले सामूहिक रूपमा वकालत गर्नुपर्दछ। मैले यसपटक पद बहाली गर्दा विकास वित्तका नवीन उपकरणहरूको उपयोग रणनीति तर्जुमा गरी लागू गर्ने निर्णय गरेको छु। साथै UNDP को सहयोगमा एकीकृत राष्ट्रिय वित्त खाका तयार हुँदैछ। हामी यथाशीघ्र यसलाई कार्यान्वयनमा लैजान चाहन्छौँ। यस प्रक्रियामा प्राविधिक सहयोगको लागि म दात्री निकायलाई अनुरोध पनि गर्न चाहन्छु।
Nepal is also facing a resource constraint for development financing due to low domestic saving. While the fiscal sector is itself under stress in recent years, mostly emerged from the 2015 earthquake and the transition to implementation of the federal structure. On top of that, COVID-19 pandemic has added more pressure on the fiscal buffers. We are facing a declining fiscal space in recent years, along with a rising outstanding public debt. However, the development financing need have been upsurging to achieve sustainable development goals, aspiration of the government's commitment, aspiration to graduate from the least developed category, and the government's commitment to higher growth and development. Furthermore, the financing for the climate changes mitigation measure is also substantial for Nepal. While the development aspiration and challenges are rising, especially for the developing countries like Nepal, the sources of financing have not been keeping pace. As we see the decreased flow of foreign aid and direct investment through the low-income countries post-COVID-19 pandemic, which may further drain us after we graduate from the LDC in 2026. Therefore, the policy forum, I believe, would be able to establish a ground for identifying the gaps and provide concrete input to the Conference on Finance for Development during 2025. Distinguished dignitaries, let me briefly talk about the role of Nepal Rashtra Bank in development finance. While the Nepal Rashtra Bank is mandated to maintain macroeconomic stability, the stability cannot be achieved in isolation. Sustainable economic development must also go together to ensure broader macroeconomic and financial sector stability. Nepal Rashtra Bank has been playing a pivotal role in deployment resource financing historically through the financial sector policies, program, products, and institutions. While our role in development financing is now much indirect, we are making our best efforts to orient the financial resources for sustainable development. The private sector is dominant in Nepal's capital formation, thereby supporting to employment and economic growth. The total credit to the private sector stood at 91.2% of the GDP in 2024 July, being the highest in South Asian region. The policies we introduced for reorienting the financing to private sectors therefore become substantial in achieving the sustainable development goals. On this respect, Nepal Rashtra Bank is ready to go hand in hand with government, donor agencies and private sector. Ladies and gentlemen, Nepal Rashtra Bank has some unique policies in place towards the sustainability. We have mandatory provision of extending 45% of the total bank lending to the directed and deprived sector. Such policy ensure adequate credit flow to agriculture, energy, MSMEs and deprived sectors, which can be directly support to inclusive and sustainable economic growth. Enhancing financial inclusion, a key to inclusive finance and inclusive society. It has been one of the key priorities for the NRB. This includes expanding access to credit for SMEs, promoting digital financial services, and supporting women and marginalized communities in accessing finance and financial resources. Financial Inclusion Policy 2024 is in place to ensure that the vulnerable low-income families and marginalized communities are not left behind. Financial inclusion is not just a goal, it is a necessity for sustainable development. Nepal has experienced uptick of adoption of digital payment that has significantly enhanced financial inclusion by providing easier access to finance for unbanked population. Digitals are definite to replace collateral by the transaction data and improve the access to credit. Considering the climate change vulnerability, Nepal Rashtra Bank has issued a guideline on environmental and social risk management to bank and financial institutions, adhering environmental standards and develop capability to manage those risks. Ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize that that fact it is vital for countries like Nepal to ensure optimum utilization of limited financial resources for inclusive and sustainable development objective both by the private and public sector. NRB is committed to macroeconomic stability and will always be a part of this journey to sustainable finance for development.
The Federation of Nepali Chamber of Commerce and Industry is delighted to collaborate with the Government of Nepal and the United Nations in these initiatives. FNCCI is the largest business network in the country and the second largest network overall after the Government of Nepal. Thus, it is our duty to partner with the government and the development partners like UN to advance the sustainable development in Nepal. Our collective efforts are essential to make sure that we can meet the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. One of the primary concerns that drives our collaboration is the state of the investment in Nepal. Currently, foreign direct investment stand at just 0.2% of our GDP. This is a very low figure for a country with our potential. Grants which could have been a big source of support are very small at this moment. This situation has led to an increase the dependency on the loans which have doubled over the past 9 years. This growing reliance on the loan is not sustainable in the long term and it poses the significant risks to our economic stability. Looking ahead, the challenges are set to intensify as the Nepal graduates from the least developed country LDC category. This graduation, while the proof of our progress, will also bring about the new difficulties. The amount of the grants and concessional loans available to us will decrease significantly, putting the additional pressure on our finance. Moreover, our export will face a significant impact on we lose the professional access to developed and the preferred market. This change will require us to be the more strategic and innovation in our approach to financing development. In this context, it is necessary that we have a focus and comprehensive discussion on the financing for development. This is why we have decided to organize this event, bringing together stakeholders from the various sectors to deliberate on the way forward. As far as I know, the government of Nepal will be submitting the outcome of this event at the summit of the future scheduled for the 3rd and the 4th week of the September. This conference will provide the global platform to present our collective idea and strategy for the sustainable development. While we engage in this important discussion, we are also working tireless to create an investment-friendly policy environment here in Nepal. 2 days ago, we organized the significant program with the lawmakers, MPs, minister, where the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and the Finance Minister was the chief guest. The event shows the participant of the around more than 150 lawmakers of the federal parliament, all of whom have assured us of their commitment to drafting the policy that are private sector friendly. This kind of the dialogue between the government and the private sector is crucial to create an environment where business can thrive and contribute to the nation development. In addition to our efforts at home, we are also reaching out to other countries to attract the investment to Nepal. Last year, we organized the investment promotion event in India, China, and Dubai, which were well received. Next month, we are planning a similar event in Thailand during the Right Honorable Prime Minister's visit. These initiatives are part of our border strategy to position the Nepal as the favorable destination for investment. We understand that we attract the investment, we need to create the right condition, and we are committed to doing just that. In response to our request, the government has amended the 8 laws and passed the bilateral investment framework to create a more investment-friendly environment. These legislation changes are the positive step forward, and they reflect the government willingness to work with the private sector to drive the economic growth. As we move forward, let us continue to work together, government, private sector, and the development partners, to make the Nepal a favorable country for development. By joining a process, we can create an environment and encourage investment, foster innovation, ultimately leads the sustainable development for our nation. Thank you all for your participation and commitment to this shared goal. Together, we can build a prosperous future for Nepal. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nepal has ambitious goals, and to meet these development aspirations, we require substantial investment across various sectors, from industries to infrastructure development and alike. Nepal is dedicated to achieving 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. To meet these goals, Nepal requires an average annual investment of Nepalese rupees 24 billion, approximately $20 billion. Confederation Nepalese Industries, CNI, in collaboration with Institute for Integrated Development Studies, IIDS, conducted a detailed study and published a report titled Investment and Financing Needs by 2030, which outlines investment required to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals in sectors of transport, energy, water and sanitation, and urban development. The report estimates that Nepal needs 16.54 to 20.54 billion US dollar annually to meet these goals. Specific investment needs from 2019 to 2030 include US dollar 4.39 to 5.93 billion dollar to achieve 30,000 megawatt of energy, US dollar 48.88 billion in transportation, US dollar 11.77 billion in water and sanitation, and US dollar 15.62 to $51.57 billion in urban development. Since our public finances are limited and domestic private sector alone cannot bridge the massive financing gap, we must seek foreign direct investment and implement innovative financing mechanisms. Global foreign investment, however, was weak in 2023, with FDI flow into developing countries dropping by 7% to 867 billion, including 8% decline in developing Asia. This reduction has further slowed progress towards sustainable development. Nepal has also experienced significant reduction in FDI, merely 8.5 billion Nepalese rupees in the year 2023-24 projected. Nepal is also highly vulnerable to climate change, making sustainable development crucial. To achieve this, we must prioritize green financing and access and best utilize available climate funds. I urge international development finance institutions also to step up their investment in Nepal, particularly in the areas of natural flood management, climate resilience, and sustainable agriculture, nature-positive economic diversification, and livelihoods of communities, and other climate actions. To attract private investment, the government should minimize political, policy, and foreign currency risk while improving and expediting the project approval processes. CNI proposes 5 key financial instruments for resource mobilization, which include private equity infrastructure funds, targeted funds for infrastructure projects, sizable special project vehicles, debt capital markets with local currency bonds, and sovereign credit ratings. Embedding infrastructure financing as a core institutional practice is essential for good governance, requiring transparent processes and public accountability. Additionally, exploring alternative funding models like blended finance, hedging, and viability gap funding, along with developing mechanisms for risk transfer, is crucial for safeguarding external investors and creating an enabling ecosystem. A clear national strategy is needed to guide infrastructure projects and achieve Nepal's development goals. Thank you, and I look forward for a fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Globally, the financing gap for achieving the SDGs has ballooned to an estimated $4 trillion annually. You know how much is this compared to pre-COVID time? Pre-COVID time, the number was 2.5 trillion. So a big jump from pre-COVID to post-COVID. And Nepal, as my colleagues had said, the annual financing requirement is a staggering $23 billion. So with an SDG financing gap amounting to nearly 11% of the GDP, if I'm not wrong. So, and my colleagues have raised this, underlined this very well. So what are some of the strategies that we can suggest? Again, following on what was said before. First and foremost, we believe that we must focus on domestic reform. Now, as Nepal prepares in particular for the graduation from an LDC to a middle-income country, we must take bold and decisive steps to strengthen our economic foundation. Now, this can include channeling investment into projects that balances economic growth with environmental sustainability. That's very important. So, like for example, but not exclusive, sustainable water management, ecotourism, and climate-resilient agriculture. Because by doing so, we build an economy that is resilient and capable of withstanding future shocks. Second, we must advance financial inclusion and gender equality. I have to say this, or else my friend from Patricia from UN Women will give me lots of trouble. So I need to underline the criticality of promoting financial inclusion and women's economic empowerment. Nepal must address these persistent barriers that many, particularly women and marginalized groups in rural areas, face in accessing financial resources, and I guess you know this better than me. So by offering tailored financial products and institutionalizing gender-responsive public finance management, the country can empower women, marginalized communities, and small businesses to engage more fully in a formal economy, thus supporting sustainable livelihood and improving access to education, health services, which is crucial to human capital development. And when we talk, as UN, when we talk about inclusion of women, the investing of women in women and girls is not anymore only a moral imperative. It's not because it's nice to do this. This is now also a smart economic strategy. Third, we must embrace digital transformation as a driver for economic resilience. The global economy is rapidly shifting from labor-intensive manufacturing to high-tech digital services. And Nepal cannot afford to be left behind in this transition. By investing in digital transition, we can open up new avenues for economic growth. Digital transformation has the potential to bridge the financial gap by tapping into new opportunities in the international trade and by making financial services more accessible to all segments of the population. However, domestic reforms alone will not be sufficient. International cooperation is essential. Nepal's challenges are part of the broader global issue, and they cannot be addressed in isolation. The existing international financial architecture designed in the post-war early on is now ill-suited to meet the needs of today's world. And the Secretary General of the United Nations has been constantly calling for the reform on this area, and a world grappling with climate change, inequality, and the unique challenges of developing nation like ours. So the financial institutions really need to reform also itself and its support to countries like ours. Now, next year is a very important 4th International Conference on Finance for Development in Spain, which presents a crucial opportunity to address these global challenges. So Nepal must actively participate in shaping the future of this international financing architecture. We must raise our concerns, share our perspective, and collaborate with other nations to create a system that is fair, but also resilient and capable of supporting sustainable development for all. So, dear participants, the road ahead is undoubtedly very challenging, but it's also filled with opportunities. The decisions that we make today here and in other places will shape not just the future of our nation, but the future of our planet. So by focusing again on domestic reform, advancing financial inclusion and gender equality, embracing digital transformation, advocating for international cooperation, we can ensure that Nepal meets its SDG commitment and builds a more equitable, sustainable, and prosperous future for all citizens. So let us seize this moment to take a decisive action, and be sure together as a full partnership and by creating an alliance between these different stakeholders present here today, we can create a future where every Nepali has the opportunity to thrive and where our nation, Nepal, stands as a beacon of sustainable development in the global community. Thank you very much. Deri Deri Dhanibad, and looking forward for the consultation today. Thank you.
Nepal is one of the richest countries in South Asia region in natural resources. The exploration and utilization of this nature blessing will ensure progress, sustainability, perpetual growth to this nation. The nation is striving not only to achieve the SDGs, not only graduation from the LDGs status, but its destiny is to be the highest per capita generating country in the entire South Asian region. The existing economic situation of Nepal reflects no dependency, as the country's major strength, youth, is generating substantial volume of remittance by migrating rapidly for better employment opportunities. Government entire operational expenditure are sourced through import revenue, which is due to the remittance. Any structural change or tremor to these avenues could lead to the negative impact in the economy. We already witnessed a similar experience during the post-COVID-19 situation. Hence, self-reliant economy is the only strategy for the dependable economic stability. Nepal is one of the richest countries in South Asia region in natural resources. The exploration and utilization of this nature blessing will ensure progress, sustainability, perpetual growth to this nation. The nation is striving not only to achieve the SDGs, not only graduation from the LDGs status, but its destiny is to be the highest per capita generating country in the entire South Asian region. The existing economic situation of Nepal reflects no dependency, as the country's major strength, youth, is generating substantial volume of remittance by migrating rapidly for better employment opportunities. Government entire operational expenditure are sourced through import revenue, which is due to the remittance. Any structural change or tremor to these avenues could lead to the negative impact in the economy. We already witnessed a similar experience during the post-COVID-19 situation. Hence, self-reliant economy is the only strategy for the dependable economic stability. But again, with the rate of migration of the young population of Nepal, lack of opportunities domestically can only lead to the problem of the aging population in future years. Some key areas where finance plays a vital role in Nepal's development. Nepal has abundant opportunity in hydropower and other renewable sources of energy. Financing and development in this sector not only will make us self-sufficient, but also a source of revenue by exporting surplus electricity. Investment in road, highways, airports and international airports and possible railways is essential to facilitate the trade and commerce. Our population is heavily increasing in city areas. Sustainable urbanization by expanding and modernizing the urban infrastructures can be a key. Though we are heavily dependent on agriculture, we still are not self-sufficient. Financing for irrigation projects and modern agriculture techniques can not only give enhanced productivity but also achieve food security. Providing affordable credit to farmers to invest in seeds, fertilizers and equipment to enhance agriculture output can be instrumental. Investing and financing in healthcare services like hospitals, clinics, hygiene-related activities can ensure a healthy and productive population. Investing in education infrastructure can also help in creating skilled and literate workforce. Nepal is not even near in utilizing and capitalizing on its natural beauty and cultural heritage from tourism purposes. Investing in industrial projects can also diversify domestic production and help the BOP situation to be positive. SMEs can be focused on promote and similar local entrepreneurship, create jobs and foster innovation. We also need to create a favorable investment climate for FDIs. Policies are not in black and white but implemented strongly. We need political stability, improved regulatory frameworks and ideas to offer incentive to attract foreign investors. We also need to take advantages of public-private partnership models to engage and take benefits of big projects that are just a dream for the government or domestic private sectors alone. Climate change risk in Nepal has been seen as increasing and scary. We also need to plan and assess international funds like Green Climate Fund to finance climate adaptation and mitigation projects. We need to promote projects with environmental sustainability such as renewable energy, reforestation and disaster risk reduction. We should also think on ideas of diaspora bond to effectively and efficiently manage the resources of Nepalese internationally, giving returns to expatriates while investing in development projects can be a perfect match. We also need to live in the true meaning of microfinancing and empower marginalized communities by giving access to credit and financial services. New and secure models of digital financing and promotion of it also help to promote and save, invest and access credit. The government should also provide moral boost for existing business ventures. An improved and practical tax base can increase the government revenue for projects. The government should also ensure borrowing is done sustainably and public debt is managed effectively to avoid risk of debt crisis. In conclusion, a careful and practical planning and implementation of development finance strategies should be multifaceted for Nepal and should be aligned with the country's long-term development goals, specifically outlined in the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.